in several institutions. I am also a master degree in mathematics education. Hopefully the thesis will finish very soon. Wish me luck. And that's all. I know the host Koyum from the Toastmasters Club. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fajar. So now moving on to a little bit brief discussion or introductions by a next member here. We have Ilya Hood. This is first time I meet you actually.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ilya Hood. I am an English teacher. I actually know this club from Ratu. He's a member of the Votes, and he introduced me to this club. So yeah, here I wanted to join like few times, like few months ago, about 2 months ago, but unfortunately I couldn't attend the meetings. So this is my first time, and I hope I will have a great time here. Thank you.
Great. So next maybe Ferindra.
Okay, I'll introduce myself again since some of you are new. So you can call me Ferindra. I'm from Yogyakarta and currently working as a software developer here. Yeah. I'm joining this club since January, I guess, or February, earlier this year.
All right. Next we have Pipit. It's you.
Everyone, I'm the second member of this club. The first member was Ratu, and then he called me in the same Toastmaster club, and then I became the second member. And I'm more active than Ratu now. Ratu, you watching? So yes, I like books. That's why I'm here. I have 4 other book clubs. I'm at book club with Fajar as well. And I'm happy to be here. And I will live in Surabaya. That's it.
All right. Okay, thank you, Pipit, Ferindra, Fajar, and Ilya. So yeah, guys, my name is Abdul Qayyum.
Sorry.
My name is Abdul Qayyum, as stated here. You guys can call me Qayyum. And then I am all the way coming from Malaysia. And I like reading book. As you see my background here, I have a lot of books. And the reason why I joined here today is to share thoughts on the book, share things in the book with the people who want to listen about it. All right. I think that's a little bit brief about me. Now we have the 5 questions, or I would say the things that we are everyone want to show their bookshelf. Okay, show it. That we have 5 questions that we all always discuss around in the book club here. So the first one is, why did you want to read the book? And what is the lessons learned? And as well as the best score, or I would say the best thing that you have from the book. And the opposite on what you like, which is what is the thing that you don't like about the book. And last but not least, what does the book have made you today? All right. Okay, so since Fajar say that he might need to leave early, let us have him the stage first. Fajar, over to you.
Okay. Can I share the screen? Oh yeah, I can. This is the exact PPT that I showed last time. And by the way, how many minutes? Just like the usual.
10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, so
7.
Fellow.
I was gonna say 15, but 10 is fine.
We will just move along, yeah. Okay, so welcome, fellow book lovers. Today, I would like to share with you about the book that I have read. This is a book by Brian Tracy, and the title is Eat That Frog, 21 Great Ways to Stop Procrastinating and Get More Done in Less Time. Before I continue, I would like to ask you, please raise your hand if you have some trouble in stopping procrastination. Anyone? like me. Oh, all of us actually. So I hope that we can learn something, yeah, from this book. Uh, so uh, basically, in this book, there are so many great ideas that I learned from this book, but there are 21 ideas. But because our time is very limited, there are 21, our time is limited, I will only focus on the 3 key ideas that I like the most from the book. Okay, the first key idea that I like is this, is to set the table, or which means to clarify your goal. So the author says that before you want to achieve your goal, whatever it is, you have to clarify it first. You have to make it very clear. So, for example, I personally have some financial goal. Finance. Let's say that I want to have, like, I don't know, maybe just random number, maybe 10 million of salary, maybe, or some health goals, or some relationship goal, etc., etc. But somehow, along the way, as we progress day by day, sometimes we are distracted along the way. So if we are here, oh, I want to reach that mountain and get to the peak of the mountain, right? But along the way, there are some distraction, some sceneries on the side. Oh my God, what is this? Oh, let me just play some games first. Or yeah, let's say that, oh, maybe I will just do some other activities. For example, last time, like just a few weeks ago, I spent like 2 weeks to write a very detailed guide in gaming. And although my gaming community really like it, I eventually realized this guide has nothing to do at all with my goal in the long term. So by reading this book, I learned again the goal that I want to get is not the short-term goal, but it is the the long-term goal. It is the have finance, relation, etc., etc. So basically, before you start your journey, you have to clarify first, where do you want to achieve uh, after all this journey? Next is the oh about the Pareto distributions. Anyone knows? I don't know. Anyone have heard about Pareto distribution? Please raise your hand. Okay, Pipit, Ilya, maybe Ferindra as well. Okay, so let me explain to you. So Pareto distribution basically says that out of 20% of your activity actually account for 80% of your result. Okay, 20% account for 80% of your result. So let's say that you want to have a very good finance in the future, right? So basically you work and you spend so much time at work and go to college and get graduated, etc., etc. Actually, that is actually very important to get the money. But actually, there is a 20% that contribute a lot to your finance. For example, budgeting, but most people don't do that. And then also, let's say, credit card or the Shopee or the, the online thing. We have to be careful with that. So basically, although maybe we get so much money by trading our time for the work, if we don't learn how and we don't have the skill to budget and manage the finance, the 80% of the time that we spend on work, it will be very, very wasted, right? Another thing may be health. Maybe for a youngster like us, we love to stay very late, maybe like 12 p.m. we sleep, or 1 p.m. It's a really bad habit. But actually, health is it's part of the 20%, because once you are sick, it will cost you a very hefty amount of money. I remember my sister, actually. My sister my sister had a tumor in his breast. Thankfully, it was already removed by now, and thankfully it was detected early. But overall, all the operations, all the costs, it cost up to like 70 million. Can you imagine that? 70 million. How many years, or how many months you save up for that? And it all because of like this single bad habits of managing your health. So this is like the 20%. Basically, there are so many things that in our life that is actually only 20%, but it accounts for the 80% for our life. So we have to focus on this, and we should stop focusing on the 80% that is not really impact us for our goal. Okay. Next is my last key point. Okay, just like the title first, eat that frog. I'm pretty sure that you guys don't like eat frog, but uh, basically, the author says that uh, it is better to eat the most important task first. It is important to do your most important and most valuable task first. For example, for me, it is very important for me to finish my thesis, for example. Or if you are a salesperson, maybe it's very important for you to expand the network. Or I don't know. Oh, yeah, if you are a teacher, it is very important to prepare the material very well. I am a teacher, so I can say. And all this work is actually very impactful, but at the same time, it is difficult, and it is make us lazy to do it. Is it correct? Yeah, at least for me, I procrastinate the thesis a lot, and sometimes I don't prepare well for my teaching, and it impacts a lot. So the author says that if this is the most important task, so you will procrastinate. Most likely you will procrastinate. So the best thing to do is to eat the frog first, right in the morning. And afterward, you can do other tasks that is less important, or that has less value. Actually, there is a story from the book. One of the employees asked the boss, "Boss, can I only do the most important task for this job?" Why? Why do you want to ask for that request? Because I feel that if I only focus on the most valuable and important and impactful tasks, I guarantee you that my productivity in this company will skyrocket. Really? Can you prove it? Yeah, if you allow me to focus on this task only. Okay, I will allow you. And after 1 month, and actually not 1 month, after 3 months, his productivity skyrocket, and he get raise for his salary. So basically, the author says that eat the frog first, eat the most difficult but the most valuable task that you have to do first, right in the morning. Do not procrastinate, because you will, if you procrastinate it later at the night, you will feel very lazy, very hesitant. You are already tired, so maybe you will just procrastinate. Just do it tomorrow. Most likely that's what happens. Okay, what else? Okay, what I like the most, the book is very easy to read, very easy to digest. I don't have to think at all. I just only need to listen to the audiobook, and it enters my brain very easily. No need to think. And it is actually common sense. And I agree with many of the ideas that the author said. What I dislike, well, what I dislike is that maybe this is a challenge for the self-help book. I have already completed this book twice, already actually. But there's a difference between knowing and doing. For example, I know that I should do the most important task first, but yeah, it is as if we have two minds, the one who knows, who want to get the best future, and the second one who want to get the fun in the short term, so there's like a battle in our head. So maybe it is not a criticism of the book itself. It is just basically by reading a book, a self-help book, is not enough. We have to focus more on doing. Knowing is just like 5%, but doing is like the 80% of for the achievement. Okay. Basically, that's the idea of this book. There are many ideas as well. As I mentioned before, there are 20 ideas, but those 3 ideas, what is that? The clarify your goal, the Pareto distribution, the 20% task, and also the frog first was the key idea that I like the most from this book. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now that's a great book, really great. Eat the frog first.
You want to eat the frog?
Yeah, that's the question. Like never ever I wonder, like, is there any people those who are reading the books really want to eat the frog? Because they read the books a lot about frog maybe, but yeah, this book is triggered a lot. Now we open a round of tables for any questions from the audience. Maybe from Farindra, Ilya, from Pipit, since she said that this is the second time. New question for you then.
Yes, Fajar, did you feel the difference in you after reading this book or not?
Yes. Usually in the morning, if I remember, I try to do my thesis first as part of my earliest schedule. Because I know if I procrastinate it later, I will just do it on the afternoon. I will forget, or I will just procrastinate it later at night, which I will procrastinate again. So again, it is the best thing is just to do in the morning after salat. And it helps. Anyone else?
Fajar, your presentation yesterday also changed me a little bit. After our book discussion, I immediately do things that I postponed.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good.
I ate many frogs yesterday.
Maybe it tastes bitter at first, but in the long term, it will be good. Anyone else? Maybe Farindra?
I get question for Fajar. What do you think about the? Actually, I'm not sure how to pronounce it in English way. The hidden power of kepepet. you
Oh
you know
yeah,
it?
yeah, I know.
I mean that when I was a student at that time, I always do something like that. I do my tasks just several hours before the deadline, even though I have several days to work on it, but most of the time I work it on the end of the deadline, and I really experienced that power. What do you think about it? And is there any explanation about it in the books?
Okay, so you asked about the power of kepepet, or maybe the power of deadline. If you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
pass the line, you are dead, basically
Mm.
dead. Actually, I also experienced it a lot, especially when I was in undergraduate, many times. The book itself don't really mention about the power of kepepet, but so maybe I will just share this. There are several bad bad result from the power of the kepepet. Usually, if you are kepepet, you make more errors, right? Like typo, or especially if you are a programmer, simple typo can mean the world. um, and because of the errors, you have to repeat sometimes or redo. And or if you are a student, let's say, the power of the web apa ke kalau bahasa Inggrisnya cramming, SKS ya, oh sistem kebut semalam. There's a study says that you can pass the exam if you do cramming or SKS, but the problem is you will only remember what you have learned for about 1 or 2 days. And that's all. That's it. Afterward, you forget whatever the material that you have just learned. It is much better to study bit by bit, by a long period of time. By doing that, you will retain the memory so much better. Okay. So maybe you have experienced it as well. I've learned about this material, but when the teacher come again, discuss about the material on the next in the next meeting, I already learned this, but I don't remember anything. I've experienced that a lot. Okay, basically that. Any comment?
May I add on that, Fajar?
Yeah.
So in the TED Talk, Tim Urban said that's called the panic monster.
Yes, yes.
So the panic monster usually wake us up just before the deadline and give us a lot of ideas. However, that's only good for things in life that have deadlines, right? Because there are so many things in life that doesn't have deadlines. For example, that you want to have certain amount of saving in your tabungan, or whether you want to start a business. There's no deadline for that. And procrastination is really bad for this type of goal because there's no specific deadline. Panic monster will not save you for that kind of goal.
There is no line that can stop you, but eventually you realize you are already dead by the time you're already late. Okay, anyone else? Maybe Abdul, Kayu?
One thing though, what is the frog actually representing?
The frog means the most difficult task, but at the same time, the most impactful task that you have to do. So I don't know, maybe you are a businessman. I think you already know some tasks that is very important for the future of your business, but you know it's very difficult. You tend to procrastinate it. Now that's the frog. That's the frog that you have to eat right in the morning. Otherwise, there's a risk that we will procrastinate eating that frog.
Got it. Maybe Ilya?
Talking about this book, if a person, I'm sure you know the term night owl and the morning birds. And if someone who is a night owl wants to benefit from this book, how can they benefit from it? Are they saying that, maybe because sometimes we like to lie to ourselves or give ourselves justification because I'm good at working at night. Well, actually, we're actually procrastinating. And how can you, differ those kind of two? And can you say that a night owl is procrastinating their work?
Yeah. I have read some articles that basically each person have their ideal time of working. I have read about that. If you are a night owl, then you can focus better in the night. It's okay. But I think that deep heart, when you are fooling yourself or denying yourself, somewhere in our heart actually already know. I think I was just procrastinating. In my opinion, maybe it's like that. Or maybe uh, another solution is that if I work at night, is my productivity better than in the morning significantly? If not, then maybe we are just fooling ourselves. Okay. Okay.
All right. That's really I mean, like, make me think things in a different perspective, which is a very good question from Ilya. All right. Now moving on, who wants to go deliver their books for the next one?
Photo first, Kayun.
Okay, sure. Okay, everybody.
Usually Farindra already have his. Oh, you don't have your title like this now?
I forgot to prepare
Forgot
it.
to? Okay.
Hey,
Rajab, you want to show your book? You want
Let me
to
show you this.
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Right. So that's that. Moving on, second volunteer to share their books.
I'll go
Any
next.
taker? Farindra, over to you.
Okay. But I haven't prepared something like slides. So I just read over some summary that I took from the book that I read. You already seen the cover of the book earlier. I read the books called Humor Seriously, Why Humor is a Secret Weapon in a Business and a Life. So the book is written by Jennifer Aker and also Naomi Bagdonas. These two person here already did some research and also they held some kind of trainings in for a company wide or for a leader C-level company. So how can they emphasize humor in their leadership and also in productivity life? So about this book, why do I want to read this book? Yeah, I found this book several months ago, my friend's recommendation, and also I found it in one of the comedians' bookshelf. I forgot who it is. I think it's stand-up comedian something when they show one of their favorite books and they show this one. So I decided to read this book. And the key lesson that I got from this book, there are several points that I got from this book. First is that in this book, the author said that the humor is a learned skill, so it's not born with us. It's a skill that can be learned, and it has any benefits in our daily life, even in our professional life as well. And also they did some research, or maybe they found some research that the terms laughter is the best medicine is sometimes true. There is research saying that when we laugh, our brains release several kinds of hormones, and we gain some endorphins that gives us some euphoric feeling, and also dopamine that also can make us happier, the dopamine ones. That's why humor is somewhat important. And the author also found 4 types of funny people. They divided funny person as the 4 category. I have the images here. I think I can share this. Wait a second. There are 4 types of people. Can you see it? We have the top right one is the stand-up. It's both expressive and aggressive. They call it a thick-skinned people, sometimes edgy and enjoying dark humor, also a fan of roastings. Thus, included in this part, the stand-up parts. And then the second one is the magnets, here, the top left. It's on affiliative and also expressive. So magnets type of funny people tends to create the happy atmosphere. The positive one is maybe the class clown. If we must have that kind of person in our class who likes to be a clown, makes the situation always funny, but also he has some charismatics. When people even laugh before they reach the punchline of their jokes, people already laugh. That's included in this category, the magnet one. And then the bottom left, we got sweetheart, which is subtle but affiliative. They are very considering of their jokes. They are very careful, avoid to hurt any feelings, just want to make people feel good. So rarely hit any jokes, but when they hit, it's only a subtle, but only want to make people feels good, not trying to be funny. And the last one is the sniper. It's subtle but somehow aggressive. If you have some friend with the acquired taste of humor, it's somewhat aggressive but mostly sarcastic, and it's a kind of a deadly one-liner. So they just throw one line of jokes, and that's really funny. And most of the time are sarcastic or aggressive, but it's still funny. Yeah, there are these 4 types of funny person, and I found it interesting. I only just found it this time. And also the writer gives us, they have a website, and we can do the quiz there to find out which type of funny person are we. I haven't tried though, but it seems interesting. I will try it later. Yeah, that's the funny type. And another point is that this kind of types is not a fixed terms. It's not an absolute category, so it can be interchanged. And the point is not about being funny, but just being real and approachable for communication, for daily communication life. And another interesting thing is the author also gives us several tips, 4 tips about getting funny or about throwing humor, whether in our daily life or in our professional life, in our jobs. There are 4 points. The first one is exaggeration. How we tell a real life story maybe, but then somehow escalate it in some parts to surprise the audience. So they will not see that it coming. They didn't see it coming. We give them a surprise, and it can be funny. That's the exaggeration. And the second tips is to be specific and detailed. We have to be precise about our jokes. We give the vivid language, and the audience, we have to make sure that the audience can relate to what our jokes are. And the third one is using analogy. One of the tips on writing jokes or giving jokes is using analogies. We comparing thing to something that entirely different, but have equally outrageous level. I forgot to put the example, but yeah, later on you can find it yourself how to use analogy in our jokes. And the last one, I think is the most popular one, is the rule of three. Is how we mention list of three things. The first two is the things that have same category, the similar category, with the similar pattern, and the third one is the unexpected third element, because our brain is tend to find the pattern of the list. So when the audience of our speech or our jokes maybe heard two first list, they will expect the third one is, oh, then the next will be this item. But when we give them the unexpected third element, that will hopefully will getting a laughter. And then the next point is we have to make sure that we can be responsible with our humor. Of course, we have to use sympathy and empathy. For example, in our culture in Indonesia, there's still some comedians who make fun of some sensitive parts like religion. And by reading this book, I think that we should not try to make fun of religion, but try to make religion fun itself. So not to make fun the sensitive parts, but just make that parts can be fun. That's two different things. And the other one is the gray area of humor. The gray area is the humor that sometimes the audience have mixed feeling whether they should laugh or they should feel sad, or maybe should feel confused how they will express their feeling listening to these gray area jokes. Sometimes it's good to have the jokes that in this gray area of humor, but we have to be careful about several things, like the truth about this one. We have to make sure that we really know the truth, and so that we will not exit the gray area into the dark area. And also consider the pain, I mean, how the audience feel about this gray area humor. And also read the room, read the audience, how would they feel about this one. And again, this learning about humor also important for professional life. That's why the author also held some training about it, on how a leader could do better if they could sometimes throw a jokes in their company, in their leaderships, that will gain some respects, still gain some respect for it. And yeah, I think that's the interesting points that I get from this book. Another question is, what is the best quote? I forgot to put the quote here. I'll skip this part. And is there anything that I don't like? Yeah, I think the thing that I don't like about this book is sometimes it's too theoretical, and also the first part that they say the humor is learned skill. Yeah, I really agree that we have to learn. We can throw some humor by learning, but I still believe, personally, I still believe that the sense of humor itself is different for each person. And there are really several people that is born with the great humor sense. Yeah, something like that. And also, I forgot to mention that in some part of this book, the author mentioned that people with great humor or people who can deliver a good jokes, they have they they are more intelligent than people that don't throw a good jokes. That part I also not really agree with that, because yeah, some I have some proof for this. Some of my friends also cannot punch a good jokes, but they are surely a smart one. So I'm not sure. Maybe I understand it differently, but I didn't agree when the author said that the people who can deliver good jokes most of the time are smarter than the one that could not deliver the good jokes. And is there the last question? How did the book impact you? Uh, several information like the type of funny people and also the tips of throwing jokes, because personally I like comedy, I like jokes. It helps me how they write the theory of this humor and the jokes. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all from me for this session or this book.
Right. A book that I would say being a humorous person.
Humorous,
Any question from the floor? Funny question, I guess.
Maybe not a question, but more of like a comment.
Okay.
I am a person who have to think first before I come up with the joke, and it's usually most of the time is already late. At least for me, I'm the type who have to think first, maybe try to come up with several jokes, and like maybe 80% of the joke will fail, at least in my mind. But after many drafts and repetition, you can find some good jokes. I'm not talented at jokes, but for me, at least, it requires repetitions, and eventually you get the gold mine. Okay, maybe that's the only comment that I have.
Yeah, there are always that kind of people who really consider about the jokes until they lost their moment to deliver it. Yeah, I understand. Maybe anyone, any question?
I got a bit, but yeah, let me give to Bibit first. It's okay? All right. So the one that for me is like, how, or I mean, like, where does this book already bring you to? Have you been a comedian maybe, or maybe you want to be a server developer, a comedian, maybe, I don't know, or maybe you want to be a full-time comedian, or like, where do you see that once you read this book?
That's a good question. No, I'm not. I'm not planning on being a full-time comedian, but I have a plan to do some open mic. I just random one. I write some premises, some line, but then I realized that writing comedy is not that easy. It's not that simple. It's really hard. I'm just yeah, I found it really hard to write, to prepare for it. But I'm still interested to do that open mic for maybe for a small amount of audience during the open mic. Yeah, I really interested on doing that. That's why I'm interested to read the book about it.
All right, maybe Bibit's next.
Yes, I actually read the review of this book. It also has something about how to recover from bad jokes, like when you're over the line. So can you share about that part?
Oh yeah, when we recover, yeah, we always when we like to deliver jokes, we always that have that time when we have a bad jokes, when the jokes goes really bad, maybe the direction of the audience was really not out of our expectation. Maybe they are not even laughing, they're just absolute silence, or even they react differently. How we recover it, just the author only said that we can just forget about it and focus on our next plan. So yeah, bad jokes can really affect it in our personal life, if that time is our expected jokes. I mean, if bad jokes happen on our casual life, maybe in just our friend, we can just easily forget it. But if when the bad jokes happen in our big speech time, some kind like that, that would be really hard if we cannot moving on. If we always try to remember that one, that will really bad for us. That can be traumatic. We maybe we will never try to deliver a jokes again if we always remembering our bad jokes time. So the suggestion is we can just forget it and maybe make it as our evaluation if we try to do that kind of jokes again. Don't focus yourself on that bad jokes moment.
But did the book mention about the possibility of offending people, things like that?
Yeah. In the gray area parts about, yeah, the good jokes is the jokes that has honesty. The truth is the heart of the jokes. We cannot just make up random stories just to deliver jokes, but we have to be truth with ourselves first, then deliver the jokes with that honest parts. And that parts also mentioning about offending people. You know, in the comedy there's theory about tragedy plus time is a comedy. That's why when we have to make fun of any tragedy, for example, also mentioned in this book is the 9/11 tragedy, we have to wait for the perfect timing. So that's how the audience can it funny without offending them, without offending the affected audience. We have to maybe wait for several years, maybe after they can recover and they can find the truth behind it, and then we deliver jokes about it. So that's timing is not about how we launch it, uh, how we launch it right after the tragedy, but we find it the perfect time. How can so that the audience can laugh without feeling offended by it. Yeah.
So in the comedy world, that's called the joke is too soon.
Yeah, the joke is too soon.
Too soon. Like when we joke about someone who
Yeah.
we
We
just
have like the dark jokes, dark
okay.
humor, that kind of things. Yeah.
Like I remember this dark joke about Michael Jackson, and it was a controversial. Not that Michael Jackson died. Who is fucking the kids? The F word, right?
Yeah. The F words.
Yeah, because make a dark joke about he was being pedophile, stuff like that. Wait for several years until he passed away.
Yeah, let's go. Any other question?
Yeah.
If no, yeah, I've prepared the example of the bad jokes. It's not
Sure,
that
go on.
it's not that I'm writing it. I'm just found it in the and I found it and I write it in my blog several years ago, and I want to bring it on today. Maybe you can find out which kind of joke this is. Okay, so this is the jokes. One day there is a duck walks into a bar and asks the bartender, "You got any grapes?" The bartender confused and tell the ducks, no. And then the duck thanks him and he leaves. Then the next day, again, the ducks return and he asks, you get any grapes? Grapes? And again, the bartender tells him, no, the bar does not serve girls. Thus, the bar does not serve grapes, has never served grapes, and will never serve grapes. And the duck thanks him and leaves. And then the next day, the duck returns. But before he say anything, the bartender yells angrily to the ducks. Listen, ducks, this is a bar. We do not serve grapes. If you ask for grapes again, I will nail your stupid duck beak to the bar. And the duck's silent for a moment, and then he asks, you got any nails? The bartender says, no, good. Then you got any grapes? I hope you got these jokes. I found this duck joke.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
this
a good
example
one.
of the rule of three. One, asking the grapes, two, asking the grapes, and third one, asking for the nails. So
I have
the
another
connection,
rule
yeah.
of three joke, Farindra. Can I share?
Yeah, you can share it.
It's from the comic Futurama. New Futurama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
they
silly
talk about
comics.
alien, right? 3 aliens visiting the Earth. The first name was Gojoborg Shruggle Super Connection.
Hmm.
The second one is Dark Crow Brushrough Fish. The third one is Veronica.
Yeah, I've heard that
So
jokes.
the first and second's name is very complicated. The Super and the last one is Veronica. So that was my first experience of the 3 rules. Yeah.
I heard that jokes in the Japanese version. So like the third name is Mulyadi, some kind like that. I found it really funny also. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I think that's all my session,
All right.
my part for this session.
And maybe I can end it like this way. There is one time that son asked the father, what's the difference between confident and confidential? Then the father said to the son, right? Son, you're my son that I am confident with. So that's what means by confident. Then the father said, the son, the other son that you play with, the friend, and now that what we call confidential. And unless you tell your mom, we both are going to be adapted. So son, that's what's the different confident and confidential. Okay, hope everybody got that. Now maybe we're moving on to the next book. Ilya or Pipit want to share?
I'm just saying, how can he be so confident that both of them are his children? The only one who can be confident about the children is only the woman. Ha ha.
Okay, moving on to Ilya, maybe share your books.
Yeah, not sure I've prepared enough for this, but I'll try my best. So this book is Mastery. It's called Mastery. I'll show it again. It's by Robert Greene. It's quite a thick book. And I gotta be honest that I haven't finished the book yet. I'm not going to talk about the whole chapter. I'm just going to point out probably the first chapter. Before going on to the book, this Robert Greene, I think he has written about 6 or 7 books, and this is not his first, and this is surely not his last. And the way he writes about his book is quite interesting, is because that he's a historian. No, he's not a historian, but he likes to read. So he will begin his ideas. First, he will present us a story. And then after presenting us a story, then what can we learn from that story? Or the main idea from that story. So by doing this, I think it is like a bit more practical, because, so many books can show us theories and ideal life, especially self-help books. We have ideal habits, ideal life, ideal things, but we can't see it in people who's practicing it. So by sharing us the story, by sharing us how people actually overcome that problem, how actually people overcome that problem that they have, and using the strategies, they can actually achieve to the place they want to be. So this is how I think in almost all his books, I have two of his books, The Laws of Human Nature and Mastery. Both of his books discuss this. First the story, and then we peel off the story. He did this because of this. He did this because of this. And the result or the consequence of his decision was this. This made us not only able to follow the person's footsteps, but actually implement it easier way. Because when children or anyone, when we have someone who has gone through a path, when someone has gone through a problem before us, we feel that we're not alone. That's the first thing. The second thing is we feel that, okay, if that person can do it, then maybe we can too. So that's why I like his way of writing things. This book, Mastery, the reason I read this book, I began reading this book, is because, and I'm sure people maybe in the teens or in the 20s, actually I'm pretty late about that, but I want to be good at something, but I'm just too confused. I'll study about this, I'll study about design, okay? And then after a few months, I'll be interested in studying something else. Oh, I want to study a language. And then after that, I want to study something else. And I can't decide one field to focus on. And this got me frustrated because after a year, I find myself nowhere and not expert in anything. And so I began, you know what, maybe I should learn how to learn before actually learning the particular subject. So then I decided to read this book. This book is called Mastery, and the first chapter is called Strategies for Finding Your Life Task, Discovering Your Calling. What is it? What is it that the calling in you? So we all have our own experience. We all have he calls it vocation. Vocation, I tried looking for it. What is vocation? Vocation is a calling that's within you, it's inside you. And you have this unique potential that no one else has. And it's not only the potential of doing something, but it's also connected to the life experience you had. So this is sometimes hard to find. Why is it hard to find? Because usually it is clouded by other people's opinion, other people's expectation, or maybe you're actually good at something, but you never go delve into it. You never try to learn it. So how to find it? This was really interesting, and I tried there was a podcast before I start reading this book. There was a podcast, Robert Greene, the author, and someone else, I forgot who was it. He said, there are certain books that you read it, but there are also certain books that you study them. Now, this book is one of the first books that I study. I try to study, like I read one by one. What are the pages? What does it mean? So yeah, at that time, my aim was trying to find my way, trying to find my vocation. And he mentioned several strategies of finding a vocation. Number one, I'm not going to go all of it, but the first strategy is return to your origin. Return to your origin is try to look back, like maybe now you're in your 20s or your teens. You may forget what you actually liked when you were a kid. So ask your childlike version, what is it? What interests you? What spikes you? what makes you excited back then. And maybe because back then you were like the original you, and now you're not so original because you're clouded by people's opinion. So ask yourself, what is it? What was it that interests you when you were a kid? That is one way of finding out. Maybe your hobby, maybe the things that you like to do, maybe the things that you enjoy looking that other people don't really find it enjoyable. That's number one. The second thing is pick a niche, pick a field. And when you pick a field, you can go inward. Like, for example, I want to study medicine. Okay, in medicine, I want to study about the brain. In the brain, I want to study about neurology or brain surgery. So big to small, more specific, more specialized. But there are also the second option is you pick a field. Okay, maybe I want to study about volley. The example was a volley. And then this person, she's also interested not only in volley, she's also interested in math. And then she's also interested in science. Now, how can you combine math, volley, and science? What she did, one of the examples was that she created a robot, a hand which is a robot actually. She created a robot. So how did she figure this out? It was because of her interest in volley, in math, and in science. So people has different ways of finding their vocation. And it can take a long, long time. But what we need to do is try to find it and be patient with the process. Because maybe, who knows, you'll find it in your 50s. But that's okay, because you find your true self, I think. There's so much. As you can see, it's a really thick book, and I'm enjoying the book. I'm enjoying the process. Yeah, I think one more thing I will add is avoid false path. Avoiding false path is that sometimes you do something and you enjoy it, but it's not the particular thing that's enjoyable. Like, for example, you play piano. Oh, I like playing piano. You sure it's about the piano? Or is it because when you play piano, people are cheering about you, cheering on you? Are you sure you like the piano? Or is it because people are praising you? Or is it because of the money? Who knows? And these outside forces may be good, but it's always temporary. Because once that's lost, you won't be able to enjoy this thing. And when you don't enjoy something really deep, you can't go further. You can't go deeper. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Now that's another great book, I would say. Let us make a round of table for the question first. Start with Pipit.
How did this book help you to master things that you want to master? Or have you even found what you want to master with the help from this book?
I did. Actually, like I said at the beginning, the first step is to find what I like. And I've liked so many things, but I just can't find which is the best. And yeah, after reading this book, I read this about a few months ago. And I think like, okay, I've decided, okay, now I'm focusing on English. You know, like whatever it is, I'll focus on English. And that's it. Yeah, it helped me. It helped me a lot.
When we go back to your presentation, what do you like about English? Is it because of what? There must be a driving force behind it.
So yeah, when that's a really good question. It reminds me, when I was young, I liked teaching. Whatever it is, I like teaching. Even when me and my brothers, we were not able to go to school when we were young yet, I will teach them. I'll open a book and I'll teach them. And I was like, that was kind of fun. Like, I will do teaching even though I'm not getting paid. So maybe I can find my vocation. I can find my life task there. And now I've been teaching for a few months English. And yes, I'll do it for free, you know, because I love explaining things. I love giving something to people. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Ferinda?
Yep, I'm going to ask you, what's your opinion, or maybe is there any mention in the book about a passion? So I have ever heard some of my friends say that passion sometimes is overrated. So we're not always following our passion, some kind like that. And they said sometimes passion is overrated and we don't have to 100% follow it. Yeah, is there any, oh, yeah, is that mentioned in the book about this kind of passion? And the second one is, earlier you said that there are two options. The first one, we can focus on one thing and go deeper about that. And the second one, we might interest on several parts, several topics, different topics, math, sports, and science, and we can combine it. But have you ever heard about uh, the bell shape? Uh, I'll share you. If you ever heard about a normal distribution, sorry, it's too math here. You can open this link. You can imagine it better, the bell-shaped curve. So we have one focus interest, then other of our interests still similar, still aligned with our first one, but it's different, but it's still similar. So we can also develop them, but still not as focused as the first one. So it's shaped like bell. The first one is the higher our focus, and the rest is following, but it's slower. Yeah. Is there also included in the first option, or it's kind of different thing?
Okay, I'll begin by the first question about the passion. I'm sure this is not in this book, but I can say that passion is action. I don't know if you've heard that. Like, you won't be passionate about something unless you actually do it. But as far as I try to read this book and I see my notes, I don't think he mentioned the word passion. It's always vocation or life's task. So I think it goes deeper to that. It's a calling. So maybe you're passionate about something, but I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I think life's calling or life's task is deeper than passion itself. Because maybe you're passionate about something right now, you may not be passionate about it at other times. If for example, passion itself is important, there is also he mentioned in one of the chapter, he said that sometimes you have to let go of certain things. Okay, sometimes you have to let go of certain things, and you don't have to let go of the thing itself, your what interests you, but you have to combine it with the situation, and that needs creativity. But I don't think I actually answered your question. I'm sorry. But okay, yeah. The second question about this bell. Actually, this is my first time listening to this bell-shaped curve, but it goes to the second strategy. So first you focus on something really hard, and then but when you focus, you also learned it so much. After learning it, then you can expand to something else. But even if you expand it, you focus on this one thing still, on the inner one, on your first field. Yeah.
All right. Let we hold the horses of curiosity from everybody and let Ilya read the rest of the book and share it again with us, right? Now, I will call that book as a self-development book where we learn things, we know about life calling and the differentiate between both of life calling and passions, and as well as the way on how we're going to practice it, and which is a very good one. I have no questions and to the book, but let us moving on to the next one. Maybe now left with me and Pipit. What I do first? Okay, Pipit, goes to you.
Okay, Kayu missed the last one, yeah?
Sure.
Why did you want to read this book? So the book I read is Never Split the Difference. Actually, I read this last year. Negotiating as if your life depends on it. Okay. So why did I read this book? Because it's Bill Gates' recommendation. So if you follow Bill Gates on Goodreads, he usually posted what book he has read. And this book came up last year. So I read it just because of his recommendation, and also because it was discount on Perry Plus, only 90,000, and also quite short. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to read this book. And the book was written by an FBI negotiator expert. So this negotiator has released a lot of American tourists who got kidnapped outside the country, like in the Philippines, in Haiti, in Africa, all of these places. So he had to deal with negotiation on a high level. Because if we negotiate in daily life, usually we don't risk our life or other people's lives involved, right? Most likely probably we'll lose some money or we lose a project. But in this situation, if he failed to make the negotiation successful, somebody will be in danger or will lose life. Yeah. So that's why I think he's very credible in writing this book. So that's the reason why. Second question is, what's the key lessons from the book? So I actually used this book to teach several of my friends who are in the marketing. Yeah. So the first thing that I took from this book is we need to clarify our goal, just like what Fajar said earlier in his book, right? We need to clarify our goal. Whatever goal we have in mind, the person who are negotiating with us can tell the difference, because our goal show in our words, our goal show in our gestures, in our choice of words, in our intonation, things like that. For example, if you want to sell something to somebody, if your goal is to get money as much as you can, the person can feel it psychologically. So you have to reset your goal here. For example, your goal is, oh, there are people who have problem with their car. I'm gonna help them solving that problem by selling them this particular product, for example, right? So in this type of situation, I train several university representatives who look for students, right? And then private universities. So I asked them to change their goal, not finding clients to get money, but there are people out there who are confused about what university they want to take. And your goal is to help them solve that problem. And it will come out in our words, in our body language, in our tone as well, if we reset that goal. Right? And because you cannot change the fruit without changing the root. Actually, this is from Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? But then it was quoted on this book as well, that we need to change our goal inside. And then next one is we need to break the ice. Yeah, first of all, even when you're negotiating with a criminal, in this case, is negotiating with a lot of criminal, right? You have to humanize yourself, introduce yourself in the situation, so the person know that, okay, this person is also human. This person is not just a police. This person is not just an MLM or multi-level marketing representative, something like that, right? Make the person who is dealing with you see you as a person, not as whatever position you have. So you are not the general in a police department any longer when you're negotiating. try to come up with a representative as a human. Next one, we need to establish a rapport. Establish a similarity with your opponent who you want to have negotiation with, because humans is wired to find similarities. Actually, this book mentioned a lot about the book blueprint, right? In the blueprint, it says that even people that have the same colors of clothing, they suddenly feel a bit closer than before. Hey, both of us wear blue. Oh my God. Padahal nggak janjian in bahasa, for example. We didn't plan this, but all of us wear blue, for example. There are two groups of people. They did not know each other. Suddenly they were given t-shirts. You're the red shirt, you're the blue shirt. And then have a basketball game, for example. Suddenly they feel like they're already know each other just because they belong to the same group with the same t-shirt color. So establishing a rapport or similarity with your counterpart is really important. Yeah, so you need to know your counterpart. What is the things that possibly both of you like? For example, what's your hobby, or maybe you have read, I don't know, like establish a similarity basically, right? Next one is we need to filter our information. Whenever sometimes we offer a product to someone, we bombard them with a lot of information. Oh, the specification of this laptop is this, the gigabyte, the blah, 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 blah. The monitor is 15-inch, all of this specification, right? Actually, our brain is not wired to accept that a lot of information in one go. So no matter what information you give to the person, actually only a small amount of this information can be received in their brain. If you give a lot of information to them in one go, it will tire them out because their brain have to filter the information themselves. So what we need to do is we need to filter the information from us. We're the one who do this information filtering for them. So only give them information that they need. For example, when someone's looking for a laptop, you ask them first what they want to look for in a laptop. Oh, I want to use it for, I don't know, teaching. I wanted to use it for designing something. And then you tell them the specification only related to what he's looking for. The person doesn't need to know the color then because it's not relevant to the goal. The person probably doesn't need to know what's the, I don't know, what's the battery last, for example, if it's not related to this person's goal in mind, right? So we need to filter the information from us, okay? And then, all right. We have to tell our counterpart that we listen to them. Okay, that's the weakness of human brain. When we having meeting like this, there are two meetings happening at the same time: the meeting with us and also the meeting in their brain. So Kayum now has a meeting in his brain. After this, I have to do something else. After this, oh God, we've got to do that thing. My mom is calling me, whatever, you know, all of this meeting is in his head or her head. And we also have meetings with them. We need to be aware of this situation. Now, we realized maybe our counterpart is distracted. We cannot be the one distracted. Okay, we have to listen carefully to our opponent. Okay, because if we are distracted, we only hear only what we want. Basically. So because we are the one who want to achieve a goal here, we cannot be distracted. Yeah. We have to tell a person that, what is it called? That we are listening. Yeah. I put the Squid Game. Anyone has watched Squid Game here? Okay. And then, all right. People also average information. So again, if we give them too much information, they will rate it between useless and useful information. Okay, So if you give them only few information, but all useful, that's actually better than 10 information, 3 useless, 7 useful. Suddenly these 3 useless can bring down the quality of the information you give. So it's better just give only few, but all the good quality. Yeah. Only deliver the relevant information and important. Don't feel fear of missing out. Sometimes you feel like we fear of missing out. Oh, the person that belum tahu ini, doesn't know this yet, doesn't know this yet. Probably they don't need to know. Okay, so we need to hold ourselves together. Right. And then things to remember. The book also said, everyone is interested in themselves 10,000 more times than when they're interested to other people. Believe me, people are interested in themselves 10,000 more times than interested in other people. If you don't believe me, in this book said, if you have a group photo, the first person you're looking for is yourself, not other people, because you're only interested in yourself, right? So when you talk about your product or whatever negotiation you want to achieve, you need to focus the negotiation on the other person, not you. Okay, so divide the time between you share information and they share information. Make sure they're the one who have more time talking than yourself. Okay, so that's actually the way you win a negotiation. Do not look like you're the one, what is it called, dominating the discussion, but let the other person feel like they're the one in control. But actually, you are the one in control in negotiation. Right? And then they have to feel appreciated. So you have to listen to them. Listening is the cheapest yet most effective concession we can make to get there. Okay. So by listening attentively, we can demonstrate empathy and show a sincere desire to better understand what the other side needs. Sometimes the easiest way is to repeat the last part of what they said. We call it mirroring. Okay. So Ilya, why did you need a car? Oh, I need a car because my workplace is far away and there's no public transportation to go there. Oh, no public transportation, huh? Yes. Repeat the last part. So the person can confirm that you were listening. It actually makes a huge difference in negotiation. Yes. And also the next one is tell them what you understand with your own words. So after Ilya said, okay, need a car because, okay, so what I understand is you need a transportation. So you can, that makes you easy to go to work. Doesn't have to wait for public transportation. Doesn't have to take a long time. Am I right? For example. So you try to paraphrase your understanding. This makes your client or the person you negotiate with really happy. Yeah. And then if you want to get it right, make sure if you can make the person say, that's right, that is the biggest goal, actually, that you achieve something here. Yeah. So by giving acknowledgement. And last one is, this is the decision, not yours. So for example, when you want to convince someone to do something, you have to congratulate the person, not you. Okay. You don't want the person to feel like they say yes because of you. They have to feel like they say yes because it's their own decision. Okay. Sometimes you get yes for confirmation, but only yes for agreeing. Yes for agreeing means, yeah, yes saat itu, but then the person will not follow through. The person go home, suddenly avoid you next time. But he said yes that time. It only usually happen because, oh yeah, after they think about it again, I said yes because he convinced me, not because of my own decision. Then the person will come around or sadar or realize that, okay, I should not go to that university, or I should not buy that product, right? So extra tip, the power of no. If you want to ask questions that will make the person answer no. Because when the person feel comfortable answering no, you can psychologically prepare the person to be receptive to what we want. The best quote that I like is, clear the road before advertising the destination. This is good, I think. So a lot of sometimes we advertise, oh, we did this one. But then after the person actually follow us, we're not sure how to. Okay. Well, the laptop is really good. But then when we demonstrate, we're not sure how to do it. Like, okay, you have not cleared the road. You already advertised the destination there. So that's wrong. And the next one is the F word in human. It's not F-U-C-K, but fair. The F word in human is fair. When somebody feel like you treat them unfairly, yeah, that's the death of your career. Always treat other people fairly. When you say you're going to do something, do it just to be fair with other people. So that's the best one. What I don't like about the book is that it's very too strategic. Yeah, very too strategic, because a lot of the examples here are like, I don't know whether it's applicable in my life, right? So I can probably share it to those people who have to negotiate a lot, but I don't usually find myself in that situation many times. But just it's a good to know type of situation. Yeah. A lot of things are not that necessary in my life. How did the book impact you? Kind of impact me in interpersonal communication, especially about mirroring and things like that. So it makes my conversation with other people somehow better, I would say, by acknowledging that I listen to them. So that's all what I could say.
All right. A book about listen more, being fair. Now I got the point and really like that book. Which, like when we going to portray the in terms of treating people. Okay, that's the word. Okay, now round of table for the questions. All right, yeah.
Split the difference. How can it is related to the book? Split the difference.
Yes, split the difference. Never split the difference. Yeah. Split the difference means meet in the middle. I actually also never split the difference means I offer you 1 million. You want to buy it for 500,000. Split the difference means let's put it at 750. That's split. But here in this case, never do that. You have to achieve your goal. That's 1 million. Never split the difference. However, I know this is very wrong. What if our opponent read the same book? And the same principle, never split the difference, then we'll be deadlocked. You're deadlocked at 500,000, I'm deadlocked at 1 million. So this title has flaws.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask actually. Earlier, I thought that maybe this book really useful if me as an employee read this book to do the negotiation with the HR, something like that. But then I remember that what if the HR already read this book first?
Yeah, but you have to imagine he, as an FBI negotiator, he has to follow this principle, never split the difference. His job was freeing hostages.
Yeah.
Not just, okay, return only the stomach above, the stomach down. But split it for the person. The person has to come back alive, right?
Yeah.
So we have to understand the high situation he was in.
Person's life at stakes.
Yes. So
unlike this salary negotiation.
Yeah, not like salary, not like projects.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I understand. That makes sense if that background. No more question for me, Kayum.
All right. Now you use all of this technique in particularly finding people's favorable university, correct? Okay. Somehow everybody already find their university. Where's next for you?
Well, if they already find university, they will not come to us, for example, right? So this is for the niche market. They're still confused where to go, right? And usually the students who are not accepted in popular universities. If they're accepted at Harvard or at Stanford, for example, of course, they will never come to education exhibition because they already have, wow, like everyone wants to be accepted there. But that's just a small percentage of students who achieve that kind of level of success, right? So there are so many others, maybe 80%, 90%, who are looking for an alternative, what university that are not that popular, but still can give them the best opportunities.
All right, that's answered my question. So thank you, Pipit, for explaining the book Never Split the Difference. Now I know how to never split the answer with my parents. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. All right, now moving on. I guess I am the last one. So today, let me see first, am I mirroring my, okay, I'm mirroring my video, right? So the book that I really want to share about is the previous one that I tell to the group, which is The Essential of Social Media. So this book is talking about the roadmap maximizing the brand influence and credibility. I got the questions, the questions with the people around me, my the new friends, I would say, which is they always ask me, Kayum, you have a lot of friends in social media. You have a lot of people who follow you through the Instagram. How do you do it? I can't say how am I going to do, like what is the way, because those people who are following me in the social media are the one who that I know. And if you are talking about like, yo, that's 3,000 people who friends with you in Facebook, do you know all of them? I would say yes towards it. My teacher, my friends, those who from university, the one that I met alongside with in events, and someone who I met in Toastmasters like Pipit, and as well as the one that I meet with Ferindra, the book club, or anywhere that I can connect with people. So I will try to connect with them through social media and physically as well. So that's how actually that I managed to do it. And this book, what do I learn about this book is how to make all of these 3,000 people, 1,000 people into a funnel system that for me, that what am I thinking about right now is to be a content creator. So I want to think about, like, it made me trigger the question about like what kind of content that you want to make and what is the niche of audience that what have Ilya said just now. And it teach you not only by saying those, pick out a point. And what I really like as well in the book is they have some of interview, like with some of the social media expertise, I would say. And then as well as, the next step. Okay, what does it about the next step? All right, in the next step here, they ask the readers, now you have read, let's move together. So apparently I started to be active in social media, and this is what I got. Okay, let me share my screen. So this is my Facebook. So for those who want to find me on the Facebook, you can go with my name here, Kayum. And 3.1 follow friends. And the first thing that I make a move is trying to change my profile picture. And I did not expecting 100+ of people liking my photos, because I am kind of the person the one that you see sitting in the corner.
Too.
Yeah.
I give that a thumbs up.
Yeah. And like I am the one who's very shy. And for those who are here, this picture made me think around like 100 times. Should I change it? Should I not change it? And with that, I will feel like, okay, let me try and see what's the result. Like what Fajar Martha said just now, eat the frog, right? And then I ate the frog. Okay, Now a lot of people like the photos. I mean, like, oh, dude, this is make me feel nervous. What's their comment on it? And the social media marketing book, it also give me the statement that you don't have to be scared about what you are trying to do. It's okay. It's just a light. It can't do much about it. And then it comes to another part where the comments coming up. All right, maybe some of you guys know the words, maybe some of you guys know the sentences. It's just that I'm afraid on the negative part of, you know, the netizen per se, the people who we are friends with. But luckily, until today, all of them are a good comment, I would say. And yeah, and I really like, oh God, thanks God, this is the first move. And I really managed to do it. Now, this is the Instagram part. 1,002 followers, but no posting. People will ask me like, Kayum, you no post, but you have a lot of friends. It's not about like, who am I, but the things that, what am I sharing about? And as well, that's the one that being, you know, if you can see, here we have...
Hanif.
Yeah, Hanif, just now. And we have around like 90 people who are watching this. And like a very interesting part is people replying to the story. When I share story with them, and not a lot only for this time around, anything that I share, a lot of, I would say, people going to ask me regarding about that. And as well, like PP just now, you have a story about FBI hostages things. What I have here is a Bailey Harris, the person who have a 2.7 million people, but she always talk about the mystery of murder, I would say. And I really like her. People will like question, Kayum, she do makeup and tell stories. Why do you like her? Dude, I like this story. I like this story, not the person.
I was gonna say, I thought she was a makeup influencer. Why are you following her?
Yeah, and she is actually a makeup influencer. At the same time, she share all the mystery things, and this make me feel like, oh shoot, am I going to be a girl one day? Long hair, already learning makeup at the same time listening to stories, you know? And then feels make me like, okay, now it's time for me to move to my own content. Now, the book is not yet being, fully read. It's already, I only read about around 100 pages. Yeah, page 99. So it's talk about Facebook, Instagram, and as well as explore more about, there is a lot more social media, like the Goodreads, what we have here, where we all share the books, right? The Goodreads, and also Reddit. At the first place, I thought Reddit is like, is it a dark web? Should I go in it? But then Reddit is a place where people discussing things as well. And funnily enough, it can, it's help you to decide, or I would say it suggests you what to read next. And I feel like, am I being spied by Reddit? I just want to share about like how to, eat potatoes, and they bring like how to go for French fries. I mean, like, oh, okay, that's really weird. And with that, I feel like, okay, this book is going to help me on getting through being someone who so-called as a content creator. Yeah. Okay, that's new for me. Okay, that's really new for me. Oh, okay. Now I thought it's accessible by everybody. Okay. So I hope it's going to be accessible in Indonesia soon, because it's really good things. And then to talk about there is no quotes in the book, because it's mostly sharing by the writer, the Gail Z. Martin. Okay. It's mostly sharing from him on how to do the Facebook. The first thing that they go for, if you are working people, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So if you don't have this one, please have it and use it fairly, and try to use all the utility that in the features that they have in all of these social media, so that you can be stand out among the others. Okay, that's interesting. We should not say it. Yes. And then
there's that dark side of Reddit, right?
Yeah. Because Reddit, it is too often.
Subreddits. They have child pornography, their terrorism, curating groups, and all of that. So the government of Indonesia tried to.
And then, what I can say that how does that impact me? The book till today is, I would say that it makes me feel secure in terms of how to, be on social media and try to strategize myself on what you want to do next, what is the 5 step ahead, and as well as what you want to go, like what Pete said just now, clearing the roads before you clear the obstacles before you want to go for the road. And it really makes me feel like, I can go further in terms of being outstanding in social media, because for me right now in Sarawak, there is not a lot of people so-called as social influencer, and it is very hard for those people to stand out actually because of the mindset of the peoples and the acceptance of the audience, the netizens, because when you become a content creator, hat is a thing. I would say it is a compulsory thing, and that's why all of this, the thing that in this book really want to, they expose you to those kind of things first. They say you need to some of the sharing they say here is you need to expect those kind of things, and that if you don't want to go for that road, so you don't go, and you don't do that. Go for the other things. Go to Instagram maybe. If the Facebook, a lot of haters in Facebook, go for Instagram. If there's a lot of haters in Instagram, go to Twitter. And with that, I would say this is a very good book. If I can give a star, I would give it 10 out of 10 because there is no flaw until now that I would see in the book itself. And then for what else do we have here? Then the things that I don't like, no, I don't have the quotes. There is no quotes because most of these things are sharing. The key lesson I would say I have shared it just now, and yeah, that's all from me. Thank you. Okay, let us open the round of several questions.
I have a question. So the book is advertised as a marketing book. Do you agree that the purpose of this book is for people marketing themselves in social media, or is it just in general how to use social media?
For now, I would say it is a fun to market. How maybe let's say for example you have the brand of yourself, the product name is Pipit Andriani. Now you have the product, you have the name. Let us see how can you utilize the social media to make you outstanding from the others. Yeah. So I would say it really used to marketing in the specifics. Yet they do in the general part, which is on the first I would say chapter on this book. And then the second chapter, it moves to okay, now what you want to do, create your own tribe, and then not only sharing your own product, not direct selling your product, but as well as say to share about like what is the good of a small part in the product. So yeah.
What if for those people who don't have a job in marketing, for example, how do they benefit from this book?
Not from marketing, how they can benefit from the book. And for the most things that I would say is that how to say about this? Not only they will know what is the kind of website that they can go for and search things, right? Now, let's say, for example, maybe we want to go for how to master the new skill of planting a tree. We go for that kind of, we will find it in specific social media for it. And we have a specific group for it. Maybe in Facebook, we have a common group that who are love plants, maybe, and who are going to save the climate change. And it's not only about marketing itself, but it's how it's the knowledge that they gain at the same time. And to be honest, I am a marketing student. Learning all of this is really impactful, even though that I am not a marketer even, because it will makes you feel like secure on what you share in Facebook, Instagram, and it triggers you to feel like, okay, what's good to share, what's not good to share. We have some of our, say, the innocent friend who always share the memes and you don't want to share it. At the same time, if you want to be professional, you're just going to like it and scroll. Yeah. So I would say it make, if it's not really about marketing, it introduce people about like what actually tools to market.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'll ask one question. Since you've read this book, imagine someone in front of you, a young person, came to you and he or she does not have any social media. How will you motivate, or how will you persuade that person to at least open one?
Talking about yourself, Ilya?
How to motivate?
Was it Kak Desi who doesn't have social media?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how to motivate them to open up a social media? I would stand with this one thing. People call about master. Ilya call share about mastery things. Farindra share about passions. So 1,000, 1 billion people out there. There's someone like me that know where to go, you know, like, and then to be honest, after I discover social media, I have a lot of perspective. Like there is a lot of opportunity. As me as a Malaysian boy, I would say that staying in the Sarawak, I would say it's a rural place still, which is not really a high-end city, which is we are not Dubai, okay? And then it makes me feel like, oh, if Bailey Sarian can share some sort like a murder mystery things, maybe I can share some things on the dark story that I collect with all the people that I met through all around Sarawak and share it in YouTube and let them listen to something, you know. And to be honest, the step on how to be in social media is, I would say it is not hard for me, because even though that I am actually shy in social media, I am actually really, really outspoken in public because I have friends and know a lot of people. And the social media is just a place for you to share your some interests. Okay, if you don't want to share with people, it's okay. You don't have to be in social media either, because you're still here with us in Voicepal and sharing the books that you want to read. And because maybe you have the sort of mindset that, oh, I just want to share with the people who are like to read the books. It's okay. And then maybe one day, because this is a group, we are, you know, expanding from time to time. We listen from other people's opinion, and the good way, it's not about forcing yourself to be part of the social media, but you know, at the very least, you know there is thing that called social media out there, and you're not really that people say as ketinggalan zaman or outdated. Yeah, outdated. Yeah. So don't worry. Take a step. I changed my profile photo is 100 times things as well. I hope that answer your question, Ilya.
Yeah, I actually have a friend in my other book club who is afraid of social media, and then even any presence on the internet. So when she found out that our meeting was recorded, for example, she never came again. And I don't know, like maybe she's avoiding someone who searched about her. I don't know, I'm not sure. I think people have their own reasons why they don't want to be present in social media.
That's fine. We can't force them. At the very least, because they need to get used to it. Let's say, for example, I spend 1,000 hours to watch people, in YouTube, and then it triggers me. Let me have one, it triggers me, but I still have I don't have any yet content for it, but it's okay. After I found the right content for it, maybe sharing books, maybe sharing about how to do hydroponic planting system, maybe. And with this kind of small content, it creates how big value towards your audience. Because in social media, it's not always about you, because it's always about your audience, the tribe that you want to feed on the informations.
Ayum, it's funny when you said that. I have a YouTube channel for 10 years. I never promoted. I use the YouTube channel to storage rather than keeping the videos like this in my laptop or Google Drive. I upload it. So that's, and then now, do you know that if you want to make a YouTube channel, you cannot change the name on the bar. You cannot personalize it, right? You can only personalize it after you get 10,000 subscribers or something.
You mean the URL?
The URL, yes. You can personalize it now.
Oh.
David, how did you personalize yourself? Oh, because I had it 10 years. That time it was still allowed to personalize.
So it's a new rule.
It's new rules. I think last 5 years, it's a new rule.
I get a question for Kayum.
Go on.
So this book also mentioned about privacy, about how you should be careful about sharing on social media. Is there any specific parts, specific session, specific topics in this book?
Talking about privacy system. Honestly, no. It's the book talking about specifically how to market yourself. And when they try to say like how to market yourself, they already, I would say control, or I would say they already show you the procedure on what things you want to share in the Facebook or the social media itself, in Instagram. Yeah. So in the sense of being careful on what you share, rather than thinking about like the privacy, because in the days of social media, there is not, so I would say there is no really private, because you want to share, then what's the point if you want to share but you still want to be private, right? Hopefully that answer your question.
Yeah, that's nice, because we have a full control of our own account, and it should be us that should be control which one that we need to post. For example, the last time, you guys know Strava, the social media for sports tracking. So when we do some sports like cycling and run, we can track our activity through that apps. We can share it. And then after several months of using it, I just realized that if I'm using this and I do the activities, like maybe when I use bike to my daily commute from my home to my place, I will activate it. My intention is just to track the road or track my activity, but it also means that I shared my precise location of my home and also the route that I go daily to my office. I also share that precise information. That's why I just come to it. Then luckily there is a feature in that application that we can hide our starting and finish points, like in radius 500 meters from our starting points, it will be hidden, and also in the finish point. That also has that feature in the apps. Yeah. So we back again, we have the full control of our social media.
It's really not about that. This book is really not about tracking people. it's mainly about sharing what's your interest. Yeah. But that one maybe Verindra will share the books about it. So it can help me to be like more, safety or make my security of my Facebook and Instagram more secure.
Yeah, Verindra is the man for it because he's in IT.
Just finding the sweet spot between sharing the one that we need to share.
Has anyone here read the book Digital Minimalism, Cal Newport?
Read it last year.
Yeah. How is it different from Qayyum's? I mean, if you compare them.
That's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
That's the opposite.
But not exactly the opposite though, in my opinion, because the book that Kayan read is more for specific reason like marketing.
That's for
and
job,
digital minimalism is for people who don't want to use.
Be dyslexic.
Yeah.
What if our job is actually through social media and marketing? Then we need to read Kayan's book.
Yeah.
But if our job has nothing to do with social media, it's distraction, then we need to go with the digital minimalism.
Being minimalist means, if I were being asked the question, being minimalist means that you need to share things that specifically towards your audience. Meaning to say, let's say, for example, Ilya likes to be learning things. Okay, what do you like to learn? English. Then only share about English. You don't want to share, you don't have to share about, also in English, in France, it means like this. In Indonesia, it means like this. No, you don't have to. That being minimalist, stay on your lane. Yeah. So it could make you feel like, okay, today I wake up and I share one thing already in English. Good for me to go for another thing. Then let's be connected to the world. It's the frog quest.
Yeah, make your account today. Today or never. Just kidding.
Soon.
Did you make Goodreads account?
I did. I have Goodreads. I've been using.
Oh, that's a social media almost, yeah. But all related books.
I'll add you guys soon.
One more minute because we're 2:14 now. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding that. Okay.
There's a background sound
from
you. There's a background sound from you.
Yeah, actually, I am in another public speaking meeting.
Are you Toastmaster meeting?
Not to say this, but I am in a contest season.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Then but it's okay. The background is also people speaking in English, so maybe he is interested to join us. To close all of this book, to close all of this meeting, share with me what's the next book. Just the name of the book. Farindra.
Honestly, I haven't decided any books, but I have several titles in my mind. The first one is the Homo Deus. I just get it free from the Black Cyber Monday last time. And the other one is When. I think it's already been discussed earlier this year. Daniel, it's
When. It's not good.
When. Oh, it's not good.
It's a waste of time.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, maybe it's Homo Deus for me, but still not sure.
But it's okay. Since this is interesting, leading a book discussion, maybe I try to go for the January part. Okay, and then Vivid, what's your next book?
My next book is the one I keep postponing. Is In My Time, a memoir by the Vice President of America, Dick, who initiated to attack Iraq 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
All right, Ilya.
I'll try to finish this mastery, but usually that kind of thick book, I like to have something in between. So I'll read this Keep Going by Austin Kleon. It's rather short and fun to read. So yeah.
Good.
Okay, now it's my turn, but I don't have the book with me.
Kayum, you ask us and you're not ready.
How am I sure ready? There's a ton of books that I want to share with people. And I just share around what? 3 books with you guys? And okay, the next one is the one that I buy with this one. All right. After you market, now you learn the language, the neuro-linguistic programming for business success. Yeah. When Farindra said, wow, I told you it's heavy work in the first chapter already, actually, but I will continue to read this and share it in the next meeting. So yeah, that's from me. So with that, let me pass to Miss Pipit to close the meeting as the co-founder or founder of the Voicepal. Over to you.
Co-founder. All right. Thank you so much, Kayum, for being our moderator today and doing a really good job at it. Applause, applause. And then I would like to call Ilya to be the next moderator next month. And I take that as a yes, yes, yes. You know, the power of yes. Good. So see you next month, people. I don't know whether it's, I think it's supposed to be what, 9th of January? Yeah, 9th of January, or because 2nd of January is too close to New Year. So let's meet at 9th of January. Okay? All right. Oh, sorry, 9. Yeah, I guess. Okay, then see you next month. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.